Hello everybody and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Kelsey and this is my YouTube channel where I like to talk about a lot of things, but mostly knitting and crochet and other sort of craft activities. On today's video, I will be going through my Christmas cast-on plans for the upcoming 1.5 months. So Christmas is looming over us, so there's a lot of gift knits that I'm sure all of us are planning on making, as well as some very seasonally appropriate types of accessories for myself that kind of have like an expiration date on when they make sense to make and wear. So I have quite a few things on this list. My hope is that I will get every single one of them done. Otherwise I'll be incredibly sad and disappointed. So let's start off with gift knits. And I'm going to do this in the order I'm planning on casting them on. So, gift knits. The first one I intend on casting on is the Victoria shawl by Sari Nordlund. This, I just don't know how long this one's going to take. And it's also the one that will have to be finished with a lead time to Christmas because it will have to be mailed to Connecticut for my Aunt Lisa. I am going to be making this shawl out of Magpie Fibers Plume and Magpie Fibers Swinky Sock. The plume is a 75% cashmere, 25% silk yarn, and then the Swanky is an 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, 10% nylon mix. So together, this is just going to create a very soft, nice, delicate fabric, and I just think my aunt is gonna look good in like a little mini scarf, and I think this will just create like an elegant, dainty little accessory to keep her warm out there on the East Coast. So that's number one. The second accessory I will be making is a hat for my father. I am intending on making hats for both my mom and my dad. So spoiler alert for the other gift we will be making. But the hat I am making my dad is the 1983 hat by Maxime Cyr. When I was just a wee girl learning to crochet, I didn't actually learn to crochet until I was in my 20s, but I learned how to chain in crochet as a child, and I never learned how to do like a second row. So I just had chains all over my house. Anyway, so my dad said as I was learning that he wanted a hat in Swedish colors, because Swedish flag colors, because my dad's grandma and his grandpa and a lot of his family immigrated from Sweden. So he and she used to make him a lot of things in Swedish colors. So as I learned to make things, that's always been kind of in my head. One thing about me is that whenever I'm anywhere, I am thinking about things that people have previously said to me and try like as like a Rolodex of like trying to figure out what type of gift and what I can make or get for someone as a gift. And it's honestly a curse because I've fallen out with people. There are people I don't speak to anymore, but every single time I see something with like Gouda Tama on it, I'm like, oh, this would be a good gift for insert person here. So I had the Swedish color hat in my head for like 10 years. And I did crochet him a Swedish color hat. But it is ugly. It is not made well. I just freehanded it when I was still very new into crochet. So it is cone shaped, which is not the shape of my dad's head. So we're gonna redeem ourselves this year with the 1983 hat. I'm doing obviously Swedish colors. So the two colorways I have here are Gulfstream and Honey. The yarn I'm using is Knit Picks Swish. I believe it is 100% fine superwash merino wool, whatever that means. So I've got those two, and those will be right up next to each other, but sort of to balance that out, and because this pattern does take 4 colors. I have the colorway Dusk, which is just like a navy blue, and then Dove Heather, which is just a fine gray. And then together we will have a very cute hat. And that's on the floor now. I was going to show you all of them, but I'm not. That was God telling me that I couldn't do that. So, the last gift I am knitting. There is one gift which I am sewing. And I guess I'll talk about that in the gift pile, because I have another thing I'm sewing that is for me, and that's not a gift. And I don't know. I don't know the best way to do it. Please don't stop watching because I start talking about sewing. But this yarn is a local dyer to me here in Utah. I bought it from a local yarn store called Handwork. I went with my mom to pick out the yarn like last year. This will match her ski jacket, which is why we specifically picked out this one, and it is to make her a hat. The hat I'm making is the Net Beanie by Sari Nordlund. It is a hat that is published in her first book, the Softly Timeless Knits book, that I'm still not 100% sure that's the title, but you know what I mean. It's the gray one. And I am making it out of Yarn Nouveau Merino DK 100% superwash merino wool. I read it as 10%. I was like, that doesn't sound correct. That's a lot of nylon. If that was correct. Anyway, so this is the colorway Crescent. And I had the Net Beanie in my head for a really long time as to what I wanted to make for my mom. But it was in that book, and Sari Nordlund's books are like $50. So $50 for a hat pattern was a lot of lift for me. But I started looking into the other patterns in the books, and I started thinking that, yeah, I think I actually will make other things in the book. So I went ahead and bought the book, and I am going to make her that hat. I looked at other hat patterns, but just none of them were as good as that one. So that is the hat I'm making for my mom. I'm a little bit nervous because I tried cables for the first time on a sock recently, and I didn't really enjoy working on them. Like, they were really annoying and tedious, and I hope it's just because I was using a fingering weight yarn and it was teeny tiny on 9-inch circulars on a sock, that's the reason why it was unenjoyable, because I have like 3 cabled hats that I am in the process of working on this holiday seasons, and one of them is that, another one we'll get to in a second, and the other one you would have seen in my whip roundup. But I'm a little nervous that I'll just hate the process, and I've signed myself up for abject misery. And I'm also nervous because I have another cable sweater that I have yarn for that I really want to make, but I'm just worried it'll be a horrible experience. So here's hoping for the best in that. And then the final gift I have is for my friend Heidi. So Heidi, if you're watching, please don't. But I bought fabric, and this is a sewing project. But Heidi has the interchangeable ChiaoGoo needle set, and if you know that set, or if you own that set, you know the case is absolutely fucking hideous. And we get together every Sunday to work on our matching sweaters, and the Sunday before last, she mentioned that one of the girls we see regularly at Knit Night made a new needle case for the ChiaoGoo set. And she mentioned wanting to make one for herself, but Heidi doesn't have a sewing machine. So I figured that for Christmas, I would just go ahead and make it for her. And that's what I mean about having a Rolodex of anything anyone has ever said they wanted and or liked. Because I just keep things in my head, or I'll like buy them months in advance and just give them to you at the time. So this is one of those things where if I went specifically shopping knowing I wanted to make Heidi a needle case. So Heidi wasn't at Knit Night last week, but the girl who made the needle pouch was, so I asked her if she used a pattern, and she did, and it was the Leola needle pouch, and I think the designer's name is just Leola, but I will link it in the description, and that's what I plan on sewing for Heidi. So that is all of the things I'm making to gift to people. Let's get into selfishness. Let's get into the pure selfishness of me and what I want to make for myself this holiday season. Let's go ahead and start with something I have been planning on making for almost a year at this point. If you're familiar with Meshy Fraz Knit, she has a podcast here on YouTube. She's a designer. I think she releases stuff under her like full name, which is like Michelle Frasetta. But last year she came out with this sock pattern, which is like Christmas lights on a sock, and I loved it and I really wanted them, but I did not know how to knit. Period. I didn't know how to knit, period. But I also especially did not know how to knit socks. So I obviously didn't have time last year to try and learn that. So I didn't make them. But this year I'm making them. I bought the kit from Hazel Knits that she collaborated with them to make, and I will be casting these on Thanksgiving Day, because hopefully you can't hear the leaf blower. I can't do anything about it, but because I want fun Christmas socks, and this is my first fun Christmas sock of two. Trying to film this with everyone home coming in and out, it's a little rough. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not having a good time. But that's my first of my selfish cast-ons. Number 2 is a hat. If you watched my whip roundup video for October, you would know that I'm currently in the process of making a grow hat for my friend Laura. And I also want to make a grow hat for myself. And that is because I have this yarn from another local Utah dyer called Stitch Hiker Designs. And I bought this last year at a Christmas market here in Utah called Chris Crindle Mart. It is a yearly event that happens the week after Thanksgiving typically. And last year there was yarn, so I had to buy it. This is a one-of-a-kind colorway. There's no more like it. It is superwash merino wool, 260 yards in DK. So I thought it would be really fun to knit the yarn I bought from the designer or from the dyer last year, and when I see her again this year, be like, oh, this is your yarn. This is your yarn as a hat I made. Give me accolades. Give me praise. Tell me how good I did. So I messaged her. I DM'd her on Instagram. And I was like, are you going to be at this market? Because obviously I didn't want to waste my time making a hat when I have a lot of other hats that I've made if she wasn't even going to be there. And she is. So I'm going to make the hat. That's the second thing for me. And then the final thing for me is another pair of socks. And this one might be a little ambitious. Like, out of all of these, you know what? Out of all the Christmas gifts, I'm not really anxious about my ability to finish them. I know I will. The timeline on these hats and other things that I've got going on is a little bit shaky to me. So I'm a little bit more concerned about the things that I'm making for myself. But the things I'm making for myself have like an expiration date. Like, these are not wearable outside of November, December. And neither really is this pair of socks that I really want to make. But I typically only make one pair of socks per month. And so I'm nervous about attempting to make two. Anyway, so the sock I am hoping to be able to make is the the Cuff Club Volume 2 sock pattern for the month of November. It has like a dip stitch cuff, and my hope is to make it out of these little sparkly sock yarns from a local dyer called Lovejoy Fibers here in Utah. I bought this at a local yarn shop called Seed Stitch. I bought this at a local yarn shop called Seed Stitch. This is the colorway Festive Nights. This is the sparkle sock base, so it's 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon, 5% stellina, all in here. And then I have 2 matching minis because I want to do a matching cuff, toe, and heel. So I was not positive, I wasn't super secure in how much yarn that dip stitch was going to take. I felt like it might be more than normal. So I got 2 minis. The first mini is in the colorway Clay, and then the second is in Hunter Green. And my plan is to make the socks sisters, not twins. So one will have, for example, one will have a red cuff and toe, but a green heel. And then the other one will have a green heel and toe, but a green cuff and heel, green cuff and toe, and a red heel. So they will match, but they will be inverted on each sock. So that is the plan for that. The hiccup we are encountering is that my only set, because I knit my socks in tandem, my set of size 1 needles are on a pair of socks that I am currently only at the heel flap on. So I'll need to finish these socks before these can even be like a twinkle in my eye. So there's a little bit of nonsense happening. So deadlines are being moved around in my head as we speak, and I'm frightened. I'm frightened. I'm scared, but it'll all work out. It'll work out. We'll be fine. So the last thing I'm planning on making for myself is another sewing project, and it is a Christmas project bag. So I have previously made a lot of the marshmallow bags by Patil Knit. I originally found out about the pattern through Smash Knits, and I keep making them. They're a lot of fun, but I want to make a Christmas one because I have a Halloween one, but Christmas is the holiday I care about more, so it only makes sense that I make myself a Christmas project bag. This will be the outside, this will be the lining, and hopefully I get to that soon, because otherwise not a whole lot that I can put in it. But that is going to be it for my plans for casting on for the holiday season. Let me know how your holiday knitting is going, or what you're planning on casting on, because I'd love to hear about it. If you were dying to know what it is I'm wearing, I sewed my shirt, which is why it looks super wrinkly. It is a matchy fabrics pattern that I cannot remember the name of, so it'll probably be in the description or on the screen. And then my sweater is the Step by Step sweater by Florence Miller. This is knit using Sorelli yarns. It is a worsted weight yarn. It is from the Taylor Swift Eras Tour Part 2 collection, and this is the colorway You Are On Your Own Kid. So if you have any burning questions, put them in the comment section down below. If you liked this video, please like the video. Please also subscribe if you enjoyed it. And I hope to see you again, because I will endeavor to be here for you when you come back. All right, bye-bye.